Okay, I think we are all here. So, hello everybody. This is the Maps API workshop. So, we will be focusing on the Maps API, but also we will be touching some of the other APIs from Google. And we will build a kind of mashup interactively all together. My name is Nicola Ferioli. I come from Italy, from the office in Milan. I'm one of the few ones here who doesn't speak German, so you will have to go on with English. And actually, in this workshop, I will be helped by a few colleagues from Google. They are all standing over there. And they are mainly from the Zurich office, all of them from the Zurich office, and most of them speak German. So probably you will need some help from us. You will have questions while we are doing this workshop. You can ask any one of us, and maybe you have better chances with the German guys rather than me. So what's the goal of this workshop? First of all, having some fun with something which is different. So normally the presentations, there is someone like me showing you something, telling you the new things about Google, and you are just listening. This time instead, in this workshop, it will be the other way around. You will be working, and I will just sit down here watching what you're doing, which is quite good for me. I don't know for you. But this way, we think that it's a good thing that you can try the APIs, and the new things also that were announced today. So we will have an exercise on maplets also, and something on Ajax feeds. The point is that in this room probably we will have different levels of knowledge on Maps API. So many of you maybe never saw the Maps API, never worked on it. Someone else may have a better knowledge. So we try to balance the different exercise in increasing level of difficulty. So the first one are quite easy. The last ones are a bit more difficult. And actually, there is a goal, which is the people who will go through most of the exercises, maybe all the 4 of them, or maybe just 3. And maybe they add something different to the exercise, because it's quite step by step. You can maybe just cut and paste. But if you add something nice and so on, you can take part to a competition. You can send your code at the end of this 1 hour and a half. We will make a selection, and actually we have a few prizes, which are some 3D mouses. A 3D mouse, I don't know if you know what it is one of these objects, which is very good for navigating on Google Earth. I can show you quickly how it works. Basically, in Google Earth, you can navigate with the keyboard, with the mouse, but sometimes it's a bit tricky because you can either first you pan, then you zoom, then you rotate. It's a bit step by step. With one of these things, you can basically move in every direction at the same time. Now, in theory, I could zoom to Hamburg, but I think I don't know where it is, so I will not be able to find it. So maybe let's go to Italy, which is a place that I know better. And as you can see, you can have a kind of smooth movement in all the directions at the same time. Okay, so I don't know how to use it very well, actually, but people who know how to use it can do very nice things, like zooming down to a place and then start navigating on top of the surface and so on. Okay, so this is the prize, and we will decide who will get some of these 3D mouses. This is just a way to try to push you into doing something. We'll also have brighter lights in the room so you can really work. So what are we going to do? We started from some inspiration from the Earth Day and pollution issues, those kind of things. And so we decided to create a mashup which will show on a map the different ways people use to come to the Geo Day today in Hamburg. So there will be a first part of the exercise, which will be a display of a map. And on top of the map, we will add some KML information. Second part is entering your own route for coming here. So basically, I'm coming from Milan. I came by plane, and so I produced a certain amount of carbon for coming here. You do all the same. And actually, what happens is that we have set up a small web server which will collect all this routing information from the various locations of the Developer Day in Europe. Actually, it's just London, Paris, Spain, and here. And on the map, you will be able to see also the information entered by the developers at the other conferences that are going on at the same time now. a couple of new things for people who already know the Maps API, so it will be a bit boring. We added a couple of new things which were announced this week. One is driving directions. We have been asked many times by our customers to have the possibility to show driving direction within the Maps API without having to go back to maps.google.com. Since this morning, I think this is possible, and so we will add driving directions too. And also, we will, after building the initial map, mashup, which will display the information, we will convert this mashup into a maplet. You heard about 45 minutes ago the introduction of maplets. They allow you basically to add multiple sources of information on the same map, and one of these will be the application that we are going to develop together. The big challenge is that everything should be completed in 90 minutes. So I don't know. I don't expect that everybody will reach the end of the exercise, but just try to do what you can and especially have fun. So as a first step, you should create groups of 3 to 5 people. Let's say not more than 5 people in a group and possibly not less than 3. Now, I'm not going to do the grouping exercise. We will use a kind of distributed algorithm for grouping so that you have to decide by yourself who you want to work with. A few suggestions. It's better to have a level of knowledge in the group which is not too similar but also not too different. So if you don't have different levels of knowledge, people who know a little bit less will be able to learn and to follow what the others are doing. If you are too different, what will happen is that someone will do the exercise and the other ones will be just watching. So first of all, you need your laptop. You need to connect to the wireless network here. I hope you succeeded in doing so. You will need, the only thing should be a text editor. Notepad is fine. Actually, we tested the exercises with Notepad. They work more or less fine. And you need a web browser. If you don't have a web browser, probably you are in the wrong conference right now. Next step, go to this address, gdd2007.mapsapi.googlepages.com. And I hope you will be able to reach it. And that's basically it for my many slides. So I will go to the website I was telling you about. You will see something like this. You press next and you go to the initial description of the exercise. I will show you some kind of solution just to give you an idea of what we will achieve at the end. So the first exercise will be displaying information about travel routes. We'll get something like this. We will start from a page which is blank without this map part, but we already provided the framework and the selections on the right side, so it's easier and quicker to do. And actually the information displayed here comes from a KML file. And you should be able to do some filtering here, like right now I'm displaying information only for Germany. We have some information already in there. You could switch off the routes made by people coming by plane and so on. So this is a way to display what other people already entered into the system. Right now there is only some sample information. The next step instead is going to be the second exercise that we'll do, is going to be the plotting of a new route. And it will work more or less like this. Oh, not like this, actually. Like in a different browser. So plotting directions, we will have a map. We can select Hamburg as our final destination, since you are all here. And then you can say, for example, I came by train from this place here, which I don't know which city it is. Or otherwise, I came by plane from Bremen. And once you have selected your originating point and destination point, you can submit it, click Submit here, and your route will be sent to our server, and you will be able to see it in the display of the first exercise. There will be also a search functionality, so if you write Milano, Italy here, the map will be, okay, thanks for submitting your route. I should click here, not just press Enter, and I will find my originating point, basically. So this will be the second exercise. What we added in this second exercise is the possibility also to use driving instructions. So let's say that so far on the Maps API, it was easy to draw straight lines, but it was not so easy to draw really a complete routing. What we have done in this example is that if you select that I came by car and I started from, I don't know, Rostock, for example, let's try, I will have a display like this. So something like this should be done in 90 minutes, less than 90 minutes actually, 15 minutes less. So I think we can start now. You can turn on a little bit the light in the room. Basically, just follow the instructions on the website. Initially, they are very step-by-step. They really tell you, get this template, take this piece of code, look at this instruction, and you can build everything all together. If you have any problem, you can call any one of us, and we will try to help you. So it's all the people standing over there. Any questions so far? Any initial technical troubles? Okay, good. So we can go with the first exercise. So actually, there are power plugs on this side of the room only. I think on this side there are no power plugs. But if you manage to complete the exercise without power, it means that you are you save power, you are very good, you reduce carbon emission, and you get a bonus. Actually, is there anyone in the room who is completely lost, that is, he is unable to do anything of what I said, like he has no laptop, or he cannot connect to the net, or he does not understand the instructions?
Tell them once again they should address us if they're having problems.
Yeah. For anything, again, just call one of us. It can be a problem, or just if you want some additional instructions, if you want some clarification. Even if you want to hear something more about maplets, then I will show you a working maplet to have an idea. We are available for anything. The first one who completes the first exercise can just stand up and scream, "Yeah, done." Okay? Actually, some information that has nothing to do with the workshop. This morning we saw quickly something about the street view that was launched also yesterday or today. From the slide, maybe it's not so clear. For some cities like New York, basically you have a few streets which are highlighted with blue color. And what you can do, you can take this yellow guy, move it on a specific side on the street, like on Broadway, and you will have a view of the street in that place. And basically you can turn around to see how the street looks like in this place, and you can also move along the street and see how the city looks like. So this is also something new. Is there anyone who managed to have the first exercise working fine? You did? Okay. Good. Because there are some issues on some of the implementations, but seems to be working fine. So you're already on exercise number 2? Okay.
Sollte funktionieren.
Na, ich finde es unlogisch, aber
No, try to go to the full reference. Probably it's here. We view the full. Yeah, I think it's probably among the advanced options. Yeah, you should call this one.
Yeah.
And basically you pass the waypoints and the query option if you want.
So one waypoint.
Was wir machen, wir versuchen eine Karte zu erstellen, wo die Herkunft aller Teilnehmer darauf verortet ist, mit Linienverbindungen, je nachdem, ob sie mit der Bahn, zu Fuß oder mit dem Flugzeug ankommen sind, die dynamisch von dem Server abgerufen wird, automatisch aktualisiert wird und jeder Teilnehmer hat die Möglichkeit, diese Route zu digitalisieren und somit auf der Karte darzustellen und die wird dann bei jedem neuen Laden der Karte automatisch neu abgerufen.
Okay, time is over, so people who are into exercise 2 and it's more or less working, even if it's not 100% complete, please send an email to this address, gdd2007. It's the same account of the Google pages actually on Gmail. I don't know if you can read it. Again, it's in the last page of the slides. If you manage to send an email there, then we will look into it shortly. So stop now. Raise your hands. You cannot touch anymore the keyboard. Well, you can keep on touching if you're still sending your email. I just want to show you at the end of the session very quickly the results for exercise 3 and 4. So more or less you have seen 1, which is displaying stuff on a map, like starting from a page which has no map in it, how to add a map. Usually it's a task that for someone who has already worked with Maps API, it takes just half an hour, maybe less. And you can also add complex information through KML right now. In the past, you had to either create your own intermediate XML format or to add the single markers one by one with JavaScript. Now, with the support of KML, since 1 month more or less, you can generate KML file and display them on Earth and on Maps API, Maps itself also, without no additional effort. Then the second exercise was about interacting with the maps. So maps are not only for displaying information, but you can also allow the visitors to your website to enter information into a map. In this case was where I'm coming from, how did I get to Hamburg. There are many other websites that are starting to build interactive maps so that it's the community who is entering information into the map, not just you displaying your own information. The third step, the third exercise, was the maplet. Maplet is a combination of gadgets and Google Maps that allows you to export your information into a kind of gadget integrated with a map that can be seen on google.com. It's more related to Maps than to Maps API because, again, the domain which will display the information is Google, not your own website. But you can do a couple of very nice things. Let me show you maybe very quickly an example of it, of which can be the use of a combination of gadgets and maps. Okay, let's suppose I want to find a hotel. Okay, what I can do, I can go to a booking site. On the booking site, maybe I have already Maps API so I can see where is the hotel. But if I want to search for someone which is located near the hotel, like a restaurant or whatever, I have maybe to go back either to maps.google.de or to some other third-party site that gives me this kind of information. In some way, I have to do multiple steps in order to find what I'm looking for. Or I want to find a house, we saw it this morning. I want to see where is the house, what is the price, all this kind of information. But then I want to check things like how is the neighborhood? Is it a good one? Is there a lot of criminality? There are other websites which provide this information, but they are separate. So I have to go to a second website and then to a third one if I want to find school information. With the maplets, basically, you have a way to combine all of this together. The way it works is that I show you the final effect. Here we are on maps.google.com. It's already available if you add /preview to the web address. I will show you very quickly. If you go to maps.google.com/preview, probably not uppercase, at least not the path. Okay, you will have a new tab here, which is Maplets, which is, right now it's not present on the main side, but it will be moved shortly. And then what you can do is that you can have this different kind of application here, and you can add new ones, like I want to add a new maplet, a new gadget into this map. I can go to Add Content, and there is a kind of gallery where I can select the maplets which are already available. And what I did is that if I go back to Maps, I added a maplet coming from the first exercise, the display one. Basically, you take the JavaScript code you developed in the first exercise, you do some cut and paste, you have to remove a few things, but basically you keep something like the HTML structure for selecting the city and the transportation method. It should appear over there. Yeah, so basically we see that we have the same control panel that we had in the first exercise with the transportation method countries. And on the map, I'm able to see, as usual, what I generate with my mashup. The advantage is that now, on this map, I can show not only what I did with my carbon exercise, but I can add other stuff. For example, I added also another maplet, which is used for displaying weather forecast information, actually temperatures. So if I enable it, it takes a little while to load, probably. It's not the fastest maplet that I've seen, but it will overlay on top of the map also the temperatures in Europe. Let's wait, count. OK, here it is. So basically, this website, WeatherBug, was already providing maps with this kind of information with temperatures. And your new website now provides this kind of information about transportation to Hamburg. Now you can combine them together in an easy way. Of course, the approach is different because it's not running completely on your website, but by exporting the maplet to Google, you allow millions of people to reach your new maplet, and so they will be able to combine the information together and view it together with other websites. So you can find some new application based on this. And also, I wanted to show you very quickly the result of the fourth exercise, which is adding some RSS feeds into a map. This is the display. It's very similar to the display one. We just changed the markers for the city. So if I go to Hamburg and I open it, in this exercise we took a feed. Let me reduce a little bit the font size. A feed which is composed by a set of videos coming from YouTube. But basically any kind of news feed of RSS feed could be embedded inside the map in order to have a combination of the news and the position on the map where the news is happening. Okay, well, that's it. Thanks a lot for taking part. I hope you had fun, and especially I hope you learned something, not just... Yes, of course. So I hope that everybody could get, depending on his ability on the Maps API, some new information about how to use them and what to do, so you can go home and start programming on Maps API. And actually, if you have any questions, you are absolutely welcome to ask me. They can be either technical questions or something more on the generic features of Maps, Maps API, Earth, anything related with geo applications. Yeah. Wait, I have this present for you.
Some time ago, you launched this new feature, My Maps, on Google Maps. Mm-hmm. Is it planned to provide some API for this?
Well, yeah, we have My Maps. It was launched 1.5 months ago, something like that. Right now, it's a way to do very quickly your own maps, add your stuff in it, and then share with your friends so that you don't have... There were already maybe some third-party products. Now we have the Google official way. At this moment, we don't have an API. Honestly, I don't know if there are any plans for such an API. I just checked quickly with my colleagues. No. So it's maybe one of those things. Actually, Google is a very dynamic company, and we have sometimes many projects going on but that are not even announced internally, and we just discover a few days before launch that they are going to come. Something which happened with Maplets. Well, Maplets were a little bit more known internally, but actually the Maplets website was enabled this morning, so everybody was a bit worried that, okay, if they are 3 hours late, it will not work. So maybe it will come, but right now I'm not able to tell you if there is any plans for having API on the My Maps.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. This chair is dangerous.
We would like to use Google Maps within an HTTPS context. And when will it be possible to do it in a way which is not covered with a lot of warning in the browser?
Yeah. Unluckily, right now, there is no official way and no workaround for using HTTPS with maps, because all our ties are served from HTTP servers. Honestly, I don't know if there are also performance issues involved, because having to encrypt all the traffic for the ties may be also something which is going to use a lot of CPU on our side, but honestly, I don't know. Again, I'm sorry to say that I don't know if there will be such an option. There is no real feasible workaround unless you become very, very creative with proxies and things like that, but I think that may also reach the limits of our terms and conditions, because officially you cannot really get the ties by yourself, but you should always and only pass through the API. Sorry. Yeah, but wait and see, maybe it will come. Yeah.
Are there limitations to address geocoding? Can I push thousands of addresses to Google Maps?
Yeah. The free version of Maps API has a limitation of 50,000 geocodings per day. So during 24 hours, you can ask for an address and convert it to latitude and longitude up to 50,000 times only. We have enterprise versions of Maps API that allow you to override this limit. But for most websites, this is not a problem, because if you are displaying the position of hotels, restaurants, or whatever, you should never perform the geocoding on the fly. You should always, okay, you have your database of 10,000 different restaurants. You could geocode them only once, and this can be done in half a day, basically, because you stay well below the limit. And you keep in your database longitude and latitude for each of these restaurants. Then when you generate the map and you show them up on your website, you just take latitude and longitude. You don't geocode again. This has the advantage, well, first of all, you stay within the limits of the geocoder, but especially it will be much faster, because the geocoder may take 1 or 2 seconds to transform an address into the coordinates. So if you do it on the fly when you display a map, it will take forever. Where you really need to geocode a lot is usually when you ask the visitor of your website to enter their own address. So you want to find where they live, and then you show them the nearest restaurant or whatever. In that case, if you use our geocoder, there is this limit, and if you have a lot of traffic on your website, you may hit into this limit. So you may think about maybe caching some of the geocodings or doing some kind of approximate geocoding based only on zip code, those kind of things, because anyway, usually you don't really need to know the precise starting point, but just the area that you want to display. Otherwise, again, the enterprise version allows you to remove this limit, but of course you have to pay a license for it. Other questions? No. So thanks a lot for taking part in this workshop. Again, I hope it was successful. And now we will try to decide who will get the 3D mouses. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.